Hello, my name is Michael Hannon, and I'll be going over the insane religion of soccer. And our main question is, how can soccer function as a religion? Did you know that 84% of the global population identifies with some type of religious group? Which, when I did the math, that's approximately 6,720,000,000 of people. So let's look at religion. Since the beginning of time, there's always been some form of religion, whether it's been believing in like a god or many gods or something. There's always been some form of religion, and as we've seen, since religion is so popular around the world, it's an important aspect of life. But why is it important? It's important to people because it helps people find meaning, it defines morality, and it also answers some of life's biggest questions like where do I go when I die and why do bad things happen to good people? Now you may be asking, how does this relate to soccer? Most people just think of soccer to be, most people think that soccer is just a sport. And although it is a sport, it's not, it's when we take a deeper look into soccer that we can see its ties to religion. Soccer is able to function as a religion based on its popularity worldwide, how it can unite people of different backgrounds together, and its ability to mean different things to different people. And you may be asking, why is this even important? Because through looking at these aspects of soccer, it sheds a light on not only how soccer can function as a certified religion, but ultimately shows the importance of soccer as a whole in society. Now that I made my claim, I need some evidence. So I conducted an online survey, which was very sufficient in collecting responses. I was able to collect over 68 responses from people. And on my survey, I asked important questions like, what's your favorite soccer team? Does soccer represent something deeper? And why do so many people like to watch the sport of soccer? Some demographics and the respondents that I targeted were ages 18 to 35 because it's between those ages that most people are likely to engage in sports daily. And I also focus on country of origin because soccer is more prominent in some areas of the world than other areas of the world. As for the respondents, I mainly just asked people I knew, but I also did some random people at my ACC campus. I try to make it as random as possible. That way, there's no way for bias. Some complications that I found were that on my survey, I didn't ask very specific enough questions, which led to more not as detailed answers. So I would say anyone that's trying to recreate this research project, I would say be more precise in your forming of questions. That way you can get detailed responses without forcing them or trying to get a certain answer out of them. So now let's look at soccer's popularity. As you know, soccer is the most popular sport in the world, and it's also the most watched sport in the world. When asked why it is it meets these facts, most of the respondents stated that it's an international sport and most countries participate in playing soccer and even benefit from soccer. And since so many countries are involved in soccer, there's many different teams and leagues all over the world. As seen here, we got the MLS, the La Liga, and the Premier League. And since there's so many teams, how does one choose one favorite team? When asked this on the survey, 67.6% of people said that they didn't have a team, which this is mainly due to majority of the respondents being American, because soccer is not as popular or more prominent in America as opposed to other parts of the world. So I think that also played a role in the responses. But 32.4% of the respondents said that they did have a team, and the reason why they picked their favorite team was many varied reasons, like their family is from there, they currently live in like a certain area, and their favorite person or favorite players on that team. This is kind of how it relates to religion, because there's a lot of complexity that goes into like picking a religion or believing in a certain religion. And just like soccer, people pick their religion based on like family, based on the area that they live in, and also based on prominent figures, both current and past, that in the religion. And that's how it relates to soccer, uh, through this idea of popularity worldwide. And now unity throughout the world. There's many different tragedies, chaos, and many disasters, and people look towards certain things to try to find hope or inspiration, and soccer is one of those things. And people look towards soccer because it has this idea, or focuses on this idea of unity, because no matter what race, nationality, gender, or even religion you are, anyone can participate in soccer. And not only can anyone play, but it actually encourages this idea of unity between all these different varying backgrounds to work together to try to, you know, beat a team or like win a game, like stuff like that. And this can be seen in the World Cup, which is a very uh, important sporting event that even rivals the Olympics, which happens every 4 years. And on my survey, I asked why do people think that the World Cup is such an important event? And the overwhelming majority of the responses pertain to how it brings the countries of the world together so they can compete with each other in a friendly way, which is huge. And this concept of unity is also how it relates to religion, because religion is also something that people look towards during times of like division. And religion also brings people together regardless of backgrounds and gender and nationality, ethnicity, all those different things. Just like soccer, it's able to bring them all together. And yeah, that's how soccer can act as a religion through this idea of unity. And lastly, we have soccer can mean anything to anyone. Now, of course, soccer is a sport, but when taking a deeper look, there's more to it just being a sport. Like, over 94% of the respondents agreed on my survey that soccer represented something more than it just being a sport. Some of these answers included things like culture, family, teamwork, and community. And I think what this ultimately shows is that soccer can mean anything to anyone. That it's not this one specific thing. That, for some people it may be a way of displaying their culture and community to the world, while for others it may act as a home or safe place where one can fully like express themselves and be who they are. And it's through this idea of soccer can mean anything to anyone that it relates to religion. Because I don't think there's one true definition of religion, and religion means many different things to many different people. Like, religion could act as a way to display one's faith, it could act as a guide to live out life, or even act as a teacher to gain like new knowledge or new insight. And this is kind of how it relates to soccer, because there's no like one specific definition for the two. So that's how they relate to one another. Okay, conclusion. So, as we've seen, soccer can function as a religion, and which is crazy to think, because soccer is like a sport and religion is like a belief system. But when you actually truly compare the two, as we've done, you can see that the correlation between them is very similar, that soccer can function as a religion. And I think what this does, it sheds not only sheds a light on the importance of soccer, but as sports as a whole. And that sometimes sports just get overlooked as, something that we just play while we're growing up, while we're kids. But I think when we take a deeper look into not only just soccer, but sports, we can see that just how impactful and important they are in our society. That, they should be regarded as something important. And there's value in it. And through this, we can maybe get a better understanding of our society. And that concludes my presentation.